Hi, good afternoon. Thanks everybody for joining us today. The idea for today's webinar is to discuss new technologies and revenue management. My name is Stephanie Siri. We are spot on time. We'll wait for a couple of minutes to make sure some of our attendees join the webinar. Thank you very much for being punctual. Today, Giacomo will be joining us. I will introduce Giacomo in a minute. If you're patient, I'd really appreciate if we could wait for a couple of minutes, and then we will definitely start with today's presentation. Hello once again. Thank you for joining us today. We're waiting for a couple of minutes to make sure that everybody enters the link. As I mentioned, my name is Stephanie Siri. I'm from CM Reservas. We offer technology solutions for hotels. And we're doing this joint webinar next to TurboSuite, a very interesting revenue management solution. We will be starting in a couple of minutes. Let me check. It's 3:02 here in Buenos Aires. I think we organized this webinar taking into account Central Eastern Time. Thank you very much for your patience. Well, good afternoon, everybody, once again. We are waiting just a few minutes. The idea is to start 5 minutes past the meeting time. My name is Stephanie Siri. I'm from CM Reservas, and today with us will be joining us Giacomo from TurboSuite. Thank you very much for your patience. Okay. We will begin to make honor to all of those who joined us promptly on time. The idea today is to discuss a few ideas regarding new technologies and revenue management. My name is Stephanie Siri. I'm from CM Reservas, and we are jointly doing this webinar next to TurboSuite. The idea today is to share a couple of ideas with Giacomo my colleague. He's strategic manager from TurboSuite. My name is Stephanie. I'm sales manager from CM Reservas. Just a brief introduction regarding CM Reservas. We offer technology solutions for hotels. Mainly, we concentrate in providing channel manager, booking engines, and web designs. We operate in the whole of Latin America. Our strengths are basically one of South America. We have more than 1,300 clients. We recently started operating in the US and Canada. We started a little over 3 years ago, which has been quite a challenge, but we are up for it. We are a European culture service provider. We tend to do the entire setup for our clients. We do the configuration, we do the setup, we do the training session, and we offer a free demo of our solutions. As I said, we found the US market quite challenging, but we're getting there, getting new clients every month. And I hope you find our webinar interesting today. Okay. The idea for today is to, I'll briefly sort of introduce the main tools that are needed for revenue management. And following my colleague here, Giacomo, will continue with the presentation and tell you a little bit more about TurboSuite. Regardless to say, TurboSuite and CM Reservas are two technologies that are integrated. And of course, they work together very well. So again, the idea today is to share a couple of revenue management concepts, and we will have a section at the end for questions. If you have any doubts, please feel free to make your questions, your inquiries as a comment on the left-hand side. We will be answering them at the end of this presentation. Okay. Just to start with a couple of trigger questions. Whenever we meet with a new client, with a prospect client, generally we try and make some trigger questions to start the conversation flowing. And in this case, the idea would be to make us think about which technology tools my property is currently using. Okay, we have different. The universe of hoteliers is very wide. We have some very technological clients and some others that are beginning with these tools. As I said, we are quite proud of our support team, our assistance to our clients. So generally, we sort of introduce them, and we do the entire training sessions for all of these tools. So it's important for you to make sure that you have somebody to ask when you don't remember how something works and so on. So again, the first question will be, which technological tools do you have? Do you have a PMS? Do you have a channel manager? Do you have a booking engine? Have you looked into any RMSs or revenue management systems? What is your use of technology? What is your level use of technology? Okay. Another interesting thing to think about is if you have access to all the necessary information to make assertive and effective decisions. Okay, I have the technology. Is this technology providing me with the necessary information? Am I using it fully to its full extent to make sure I have the relevant information? Sometimes you have the tool, but you're not making the most of it. So this is an interesting thing to think about. And lastly, but not least, is how can my technology tools help me on my decision-making process every day, okay, to make sure that we optimize the internal operations of our business. Okay, we might have the technology, we might have the data, we might have the information, but are we making use of this information? Do we know how to use it? Okay. So all of these questions make us think a little bit of how are we using currently our technology for our property. And the idea today is to help you think a little bit about that, okay? Okay, in the universe of hoteliers, as we say, what technology is your property currently using, okay? As I said, we have the optimal or the ideal world in which the hotel has all of the tools. They have a PMS, they have a revenue management system, they have a channel manager, a booking engine, and others. We might have another group which is technology friendly, but they just stick to the main things, you know, PMS, channel manager, and booking engine. And we have some other scenarios where they use less tools, okay? Why is this question important? Well, when we talk about and we want to discuss revenue management strategies, you might find it odd, but some hotels do not use the entire scope of tools that is available. So again, we are trying to sort of deal with the basics here today to later on move forward into the more specific topic of revenue management, okay? So again, if we meet, for example, a hotel that is in the C group and they only have a PMS and a booking engine, generally we try and explain why the channel manager and the booking engines are key elements to start talking about revenue management, okay? So in this sense, some of you might use these tools, some of you might not. CM Reservas specializes, as I mentioned before, in these main tools of revenue management, channel managers, and booking engines, okay? So again, just to go over the main ideas. Sometimes we meet a client and we try to explain why do they need a channel manager to later on move on to the idea of revenue management, okay? And we generally try and synthesize this in four main advantages, okay? Basically, a channel manager will help the hotel avoid overselling. You know, you're dealing with multiple sales channels. You might want to tackle niche markets and so on. So it's key to have a centralization of your inventory to make sure that, you know, your hotel is fully booked, but mainly to avoid overselling. Okay, so you need a system to coordinate all of your sales, all of your inventory, all of your calendars, to make sure that you're making the most of it. And in the long run, you know, clients tend to value this order in your sales. Well, if you're a hotelier, you know that, you know, having an unhappy client, which you overbooked accidentally because you were not doing your operation correctly, you know, it's a big problem. Yeah, they're not happy, and probably that client will not come again. If you avoid this problem of overselling, in the long run, it's always beneficial for your own business. The second advantage is that it saves precious time. If you're thinking about, well, in terms of sales and in terms of revenue management, if you want to make some sort of strategy for increasing your sales, you need to have a channel manager to be able to change your rate plans, to be able to change your inventory quickly and efficiently, saving precious time. If you're a hotel owner, you know that, you know, the everyday at a hotel can be extremely demanding. So you do not have the time to be changing rate plans in 10 different sale channels. When if you have a channel manager, you could be doing it in only one place, and this would be sort of having an impact in real time immediately after you make the change in one place in a centralized platform. So basically, having a channel manager saves a lot of precious time for hoteliers. The third advantage is that it guarantees parity. In Latin America, this tends to be quite a topic. It might not be that case in the US, but generally speaking, you want to try and keep your parity across all your sales channels to make sure that you have, again, a happy customer. And on the other side, in Latin America, as I said, the main OTAs, say Booking, Expedia, and so on, tend to become a little bit unhappy if you offer different rates in different channels. So in a way, again, you might be wanting to play with disparity, but the channel manager will allow you to keep parity in the dates or in the cases that you want to do it. And if you want to push the idea of disparity, you can also do it in a controlled way using your main tool, which is the channel manager. And lastly, of the advantages is that having a channel manager implemented in your property in the long run will definitely increase your revenue. For my less technological clients, sometimes they tend to think that this is sort of magic. Okay, having a channel manager will directly increase my revenue. Well, this is not so straightforward. This is not linear. Okay, but I always try and explain that if you have a more organized operation, if you do not have overselling, if you organize all of your internal sales process, this tends to have an impact of increased revenue in the long run. Okay, you might not see next month, you might not see it in 3 months, but over a period of, say, 12 months or 18, you will definitely see that having a channel manager will definitely, month by month, slowly will increase your revenue. Okay. Okay, and on the other side, the other sort of main brick of the main stone of revenue management is owning a booking engine. Again, the hotelier world is quite vast, and some hotels even today do not have a booking engine on their website or on Instagram or in Facebook. We do have some hotels that are very technological, but in the world of maybe independent hotels, some clients still need to address the need of a booking engine. Why is it important? Okay, why do I need one? If my hotel is fully booked, why would I need a booking engine? So in these cases, what I tend to do is try and explain the benefits of owning their own direct sales channel or their own booking engine. Basically, we have 4 main advantages. The first one is that if you own your own booking engine, you will reduce commissions. This means that each reservation that comes through your booking engine is a commission that you do not have to pay to Booking or to Expedia. Okay, so in that sense, again, you will be paying less commissions. And as we know, less commissions have an impact in increasing the business revenue long term. So again, you might feel that the booking engine is an expense, but as I say, you will be reducing commissions on a larger scale. So this is one of the main advantages. The second one is don't miss that reservation. Again, many after the pandemic or clients in Latin America, surely in the US, are more comfortable. Even elderly clients are more comfortable in buying and booking online nowadays. And if you have a website, it could be very beautiful, have lovely pictures and so on, but you need to have this tool linked to your websites. Because if you do not offer a booking engine, a reservation tool on your website, you will miss that reservation. Okay, they might get to know your business, they might get to know the location, the beautiful sites, everything you have on your website. But if you do not have that immediate access to your calendar, to your rate plans, and so on, that client might be missed, and they might move on to another hotel, another offer, another booking engine. So it's always relevant to make sure that everywhere where your hotel is advertised, even your own advertisements, Instagram, Facebook, website, and so on, the web, you need to have a booking engine linked to all of those social media, websites, and so on, to make sure that you catch that client. Okay. Again, he might see your website, and if you don't have a booking engine, that reservation might come in through Booking or Expedia, say. Okay. Okay, third advantage, connection to meta search and automatic payments. And in this case, I will definitely stop a little bit. Okay, these two are two main advantages of direct sales or of booking engines. In terms of connection to meta search, it is very important, and this is quite technical, but bookings through meta search tend to come through a certified booking engine. So whenever you're analyzing technology, if you're analyzing different, say, booking engines, some might be more pretty, they can have a better gallery and so on, but it's very, very important to make sure that your booking engine connects to meta search. Okay. If your booking engine connects to meta search, you will be able to receive reservations from Google, from Trivago, from TripAdvisor, Skyscanner, Kayak, and so on. Okay, meta search are like new businesses that are getting into the hotelier world. They want to get a share of the market. They're very, very strong, especially Google. And they connect, as I said, through your booking engine. Your booking engine needs to be certified. And again, they have pros, they have cons, but we are definitely sure that they are a strong player. And you want to be able to connect to some of them. Maybe not all of them, but if you have the choice, it's always to make sure that your booking engine is connected to a meta search. It will bring traffic to your website. It will bring clients to your booking engine. And again, the ownership of reservations coming through meta search is quite different from OTAs, because the ownership of this passenger will be basically yours, will be the hoteliers. Okay, if you get a reservation from Google, say, you'll get the entire data of that client. And in the future, if you will make a fidelization program or so on, you will be able to claim the ownership of that client. And in terms of the fourth benefit of a booking engine, it's basically integration to automatic or payment gateways. Okay, we have a few examples here. PayPal and Stripe are a bit more well known in the Northern Hemisphere. Mercado Pago and PayU are more oriented to Latin America. And again, your booking engine needs to have an integration with the specific gateway that you want to offer your clients. Again, this is sort of the epitome of or the ideal word of automatization, which means that you will be able to put one of these gateways into your booking engine. And at the same time, when the client is making the reservation, they will be able to automatically pay for that reservation in that moment. Okay, the financial terms of the collection will be determined between the payment gateway and the hotel. You will be able to define if you want to collect the entire amount of the reservation, or maybe 50% at the moment of the reservation and 50% at the check-in, or whatever. But this would be like, again, a step forward into the technological world, into the automatization of receiving a reservation. Okay. As I said, these tools are basically the basics of revenue management. You need to be able to master the channel manager and the booking engine. And once you've done it, you can start thinking about revenue management. You can start thinking about increasing your revenue, about this complex science that revenue management is. And here I would like to give you the floor, Giacomo, if you want to continue with the presentation and, well, tell us a little bit more about TurboSuite.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much to all the participants. I'll share the screen and talk a little bit about Turbo Suite and how the connection with the channel manager is so important to us. Okay, just let me. Okay. Are you able to see it correctly?
Yes, we're seeing your
Okay,
presentation, Giacomo.
you're saying okay. So today I wanted to talk about the new paradigm of revenue management, a new way of revenue management which comes from the use of new technologies. Manuel Martinez is our CEO. He knows because he was a property. He's still a property manager, and that's how he came out with the idea of Turbo Suite. Revenue management is not easy. It takes years of study, access to technology, to the data, especially, which is very important. So there's first of all a dilemma when it comes to occupancy and profitability. Sometimes property managers or hoteliers tend to fill all the rooms by lowering the price, which is something that can obviously be avoided with the use of right technology and strategy. Just to give you an idea, 92% of property managers are not currently using a dynamic pricing solution. Okay, so this is like a very important data because it gives very much space for improvement. So first of all, we'll see what used to be done in the past. So first of all, limited access to the data, lack of profit-focused intelligence tool, and lack of customized sales strategy per sales channel. Okay, so revenue management is like a race. Okay, so different types of establishment are racing for reservations. Okay, tourist flats, holiday homes, hostels, hotels, etc. So when it comes to comparing your property, your hotels with other ones, the way revenue management has been done, the way revenue management has been taught in advanced programs or master in revenue management is that you must choose a competitive set of 10, 15 properties. That's a reactive way of making revenue management, a reactive approach, because you are looking at the data of your competitors, usually because the data for every single competitor is not available on the market. So you're looking at the average of their occupancy, their ADR, their revenue, and so you make a strategy based on what the competition is doing. They are hiring the price, you do that as well. They lower the price, you're forced to do it as well if you want to be on the market. Okay. So the new way of making revenue management, thanks to technology, with Turbo Suite, you can search and study the total market in the city. You can study, like with the geolocalization, you can study basically all the establishments in the city. We are managing up to 2 million data points per apartment or per hotel unit per day. And then we have a predictive algorithm which gives a price recommendation. So Turbo Suite has some value proposition which lets you have the recommended price, the right price for the right moment, the basics of revenue management. So beside local market, like I said, 2 million data points per apartment or per unit, we also analyzed the external situation, whether there's event, search on the destination. And one very important thing, which is normally taken into consideration, but obviously not from a numerical point of view. It's like based on intuition. Like if you have a desk, if you have a pool, if you have a view, if you have good reviews, like your conversion rate, up to 116 factors. That's what we take into consideration when it comes to price recommendations. Like for example, if all the apartments in New York had a pool, the pool would be 0 because it's not a value proposition. If 10 had the pool, it's a numerical coefficient. If 20 have a pool, it's a different numerical coefficient. So the system basically, depending on the day, gives the number of competitors, depending on the availability of the city. That's why we can also analyze the total set. So that's the problem. If you have 200 competitors and the next day 300 competitors, the way the characteristics of your own hotel is crucial in this case. Like, if you have different characteristics, if you have a pool, you have a view, you have a desk, you have a hair dryer, obviously you can position yourself higher than your competitive set if they don't have the same amenities. And obviously then that's when the integration with the channel manager of, like in this case, CM Reservas comes into the game. We take the information on reservations. Obviously, you cannot do revenue management if you don't know what you have into the system. That's what we need, information on reservation. We take the historical data, which is also used for forecasting, which is automatic. I'll show you in a little bit. So basically, that's how TurboSuite works. You have reservations on one side, market situation on the other side, external factor, internal factor, and so we have our recommended price, which is a proactive approach in this case. You have a recommended price based on your reservation, the market, and your internal and external factor, and that's the right price at the right moment. Another strong point about TurboSuite is the possibility of having rate discrimination. Can you imagine, like it says here on the slide, to offer different prices to different customers, just like it happens on the plane? On the plane, you pay a price, the person sitting next to you has paid another price, and the person behind you has paid another price. How does it work? Basically, TurboSuite sends to the channels, like in case Booking.com, Expedia, and with fewer variables with Airbnb, sends up to 60 different prices, each one with a different cancellation policy, a different release, a different discount. And Booking, according to third-party data that they get about the customers and the user of the web page, they show or they hide different prices so that they can show the exact price to the right customer. So basically, that's how TurboSuite changes the way revenue management is done. First of all, the analysis of bookings which are into the system, internal and external factors. We can have different strategies, by customer segmentation. We studied the total market. And obviously, TurboSuite is not just a tool, it's a solution. We have revenue managers on site which help our client with the strategy, with periodical meetings every week, every 2 weeks, to discuss the strategy and see whether the strategy is working and discuss the next steps. Okay, and then we have different proposals for each channel. We have a rich shopper of our own with the data that is gotten from Booking.com, Airbnb, and Expedia, so you can have different scenarios and you can adopt different strategies. Okay, so the keys to success of the TurboSuite is the study of the whole market, internal variable analysis, and different strategies by channel. Okay, so I'll show you here. So TurboSuite is basically, it's not just a revenue management system, it's a hospitality business intelligence, which is custom built in order to increase profitability and occupancy at the same time without having to choose any of the two, using big data and artificial intelligence. Okay, so I'll show you quickly what TurboSuite can do. What's the functionalities? We have a performance manager which shows the classical KPIs of revenue management: average daily rate, revenue, occupancy, number of nights, and then obviously as well web ranking, visibility rate, conversion and cancellation rate, average length of stay, the situation 90 and 30 days. We have the booking analyzer from the information that we get from a channel manager. We study average price, number of bookings, revenue, occupancy, and we can sort reservation by check-in date, by reservation date, and in this case, as you can see in the picture, booking pace, which is very important. So we know exactly when our clients, our guests are booking, when the ADR, when the average daily rate is higher, when they're booking the most nights, so that we can establish different strategies depending on the booking pace. Obviously, we got a pickup by monthly or annual. We can sort it by check-in date or creation date, and we can see the progress report, the evolution from one period to the other. Like I said, as we analyze the whole situation, we can see the local market ADR, and we can compare our average daily rate with the rest of the competitors in the city, okay, depending on the number of people and the date. Obviously, it's very important to know how many competitors you have per day, because it's not the same to adopt a strategy, a pricing strategy, when the city is almost fully booked, when the city is at like half of its occupancy or 20% of its occupancy because we are a low season. Okay, and that's this. This is the core of TurboSuite, the dynamic pricing calendar. It's automated. It gives the recommended price. It can be done, but like at 5 minutes, it can be set with, you see, a base price for walkable and weekends. You can put in even the cost, fixed and variable cost. When I mean fixed cost, I mean a mortgage or rental, depending on the property, and variable costs. We're talking about electricity, water, internet, etc. We can establish different discounts or rate increase depending on the day of the week and on the season. We'll decide the length of stay on workable days and weekends per month. And the result is this calendar, which is color coded. Basically, it shows when it's very light green is when you are below market. When it's like this type of green, apple-like green, is when you're on the same level of the markets. You're like given the optimal price, and when it's darker green is when you're above market. Okay, so you might consider lowering, for example, your strategy from very high season to high season, and adopting the recommended price, which is more in line with the rest of your competitors. And like I mentioned before, we have a dynamic and automatic forecast, which takes the historical data from the channel manager. It analyzes the demand elasticity on the city. That's why you need data. It makes a comparison with the same day of last year with last year end of the month, and you can even put the budget. And TurboSuite gives a forecast for 1 year. Okay, so these are the benefits of working with TurboSuite. Is up to 37% revenue increase within the first year, 84 position up in the ranking on booking.com, and up to 15 hours efficiency. We're talking about weekly work every 10 apartments. Okay, so these are our success stories. We manage different types of properties, from holiday homes in this case to apartments. Like this is a very important case, 243 revenue increase since November 2020. And this is our 5-star hotel in Colombia with a 73% revenue increase and 38% average daily rate. Like I said, we're not just a tool, we are a solution. We have revenue managers. We have the expertise of a person who will help you, will guide you through and discuss the strategy with you. These are the companies which are currently helping us, developing. And these are the words that TurboSuite received in its first year, both in Spain and abroad, such as the cases Draper University in Silicon Valley in 2021. We are based in Seville, but we've recently opened an office in San Francisco. And we have commercial offices in Argentina, Ecuador, and Mexico. So I'd like to thank you for your time today. And obviously, I'm open for questions.
Thank you very much, Giacomo. Thank you very much for everybody's assistance. We have a Q&A section on the left-hand side. If you want to make any inquiry, this would be the time. I have a personal question. Well, not personal question. I have an inquiry myself. I was wondering, you mentioned the total set, Giacomo, and I was wondering if you have a new client, how do you determine the total set when you set up the TurboSuite system?
When we have a new client, the system in about, let's say, 48 to 72 hours, it scrapes from the information on the whole city. So like beside your new client, it takes information on the rest of the competitors.
And where do you get it from? I mean, where is this big data coming from?
Okay, we get it mainly from booking.com, but we also get information from Airbnb and Expedia.
Okay, all right, from three different sources. Okay, fantastic. Well, we don't seem to have any questions from the attendees. So, well, I guess this would be the part where we say goodbye. Thank you very much, Giacomo, for your time, for sharing your knowledge regarding revenue management. I find it very, very interesting.
Yeah, thank you too.
It is to say that, yeah, go on.
Thank you very much for today, and obviously, like I know you have all different kinds of channels, so obviously we send the prices to you and then to all the different channels. So it's that's why our cooperation, our integration is so important. To both sides, to give the best service to our mutual clients.
Yes, definitely. Yes, it is to say that we do have an integration. CM Reservas has integration with TurboSuite, so any of our current clients could basically implement TurboSuite. And if for those of you that do not know TurboSuite or CM Reservas, we are open for live demos and future inquiries.
Absolutely.
Once again, thank you very much, Giacomo. A pleasure. And I hope to have other webinars with you in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good day.